And
Amazing.
he saw the demo stand and all the promotional stuff, and he's like, yeah, I'm not really a Mario guy. I played it as a kid. I'm not really a Mario guy. He kept saying he wasn't a Mario guy.
Yeah.
And it was very annoying. But then he literally, like, ironically picks up Mario Galaxy. He's like, all right, let's see what we're doing here. Let's see.
Quintin here. I'm fine, babe.
This is Ethan. Nah, I'm gonna go. Don't worry, Devin's here. This is Todd. Let's rock and roll!
Go ahead.
Welcome to the Power Up Brothers podcast, where three of us sound the same, and three of our points don't matter except for one. That's my
me.
point.
Oh, shoot.
You said three of us sound the same, so
Yeah,
you're
it
included.
had to be you.
Yeah.
I'm
You
the
had to
one
be
who
in
doesn't
it.
sound the same.
Yeah.
You're okay, but there have been times where your mom thought that you were talking when I was.
And it was you.
sometimes.
True.
Yeah.
That's
The two of you
So,
could be similar.
Somehow people
Yeah,
confuse our voices. I don't really see
The
it.
truth is,
Or
we
hear
all
it.
sounded the same the whole
The
time.
Yeah,
whole
we all
time.
sound the
Yeah.
same the whole time.
First,
Everybody sounds the same.
First non-brother to do the intro. How do we feel about it, guys?
I don't like it.
Throwback.
We're not
I
doing
don't
it
like it.
anymore. Let's
Yeah.
reshoot that
Harrison,
whole thing.
get out of here.
Okay.
Reshoot
Let's
that
make Harrison
whole
a second-class
thing.
citizen.
Yeah, let's make
and,
Harry.
He's gone.
If you're on the Power Up Brothers, but you're not a Power Up brother,
yeah.
You're a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
You have to do all the work.
Guys,
pretty much how it is.
Yeah.
guys, there's been some good games
there's been
recently.
lots of good games.
Which,
There are lots
of
I mean,
good
we gotta
games.
we gotta
Yeah.
cut right to the wick here. I gotta ask what you've been playing.
Oh,
Yeah, we got no time. We got,
We got
no
no
time.
time.
There's too
We
many
got no time.
games, man.
Too many
the
games.
Welcome back to the Power Brothers podcast, where things all sound the same and points.
we cannot start every segment with that. No,
I'm trying something different.
Guys, we started a video game podcast during
We
one of
did?
the largest droughts. You weren't
We
there
did, yeah.
first. During one of the
There.
largest droughts in gaming history.
It
and
was
finally,
epic.
like, stuff is happening. Death Stranding. Whatever Harrison's going to talk about. And
I'm gonna
pivotally...
talk about 10-year-old game.
What that weird that weird horse girl game?
Yeah,
That's
that you
all
talked
over
about
YouTube.
last week.
That's a game that's been out for 5 years in Japan.
Has it really? Well,
Yeah.
but that
It only
doesn't
just
count.
came to America.
Yeah, Japan doesn't. Here's the
This is
thing.
not a
Japan is
Japan
an
doesn't
island.
count.
That's- It doesn't.
There are no
exist.
people there.
No.
Yeah.
So how could the game have been there?
Yeah, exactly.
No, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Mm-hmm.
Bananas.
Bananas. It is bananas.
It is bananas.
It's amazing.
It
No,
is.
another Nintendo masterpiece, I think. I don't know. You
Yeah.
and I have played it.
Right.
You've played it?
No.
Question mark?
Who's Donkey Kong?
There's
oh
no
boy.
way.
I don't know who that is.
I like how you know what a
I know what
weird
Bonanza
horse girl game is,
Yeah, right.
but
Yeah.
not Donkey Kong.
He's a
No,
man of
I-
taste.
I am a broke little boy,
Yeah.
and I haven't been
Yes.
able to afford the Switch 2, which costs $5,000.
Right.
Yeah, you're a second-class citizen
play-
here,
Yeah.
so we didn't get you one.
To play Mario Kart, which is a game that has already come out,
hmm
and
And if you buy used games, Nintendo apparently bricks your console.
Yeah.
So you can't
Yeah,
do
right.
that
Don't buy a
now.
used
Don't
game.
buy a
no.
used game.
No,
Right.
Donkey Kong Bonanza is my first.
Don't make
Switch
eye
2.
contact with the Nintendo CEO. They're extra aggressive. They'll
Yeah.
charge
Yeah, well,
your credit card specifically.
Yeah. No, it's my first physical kart game, which in Ty, you okay over there? Are you all right?
I'm watching Harrison not be.
I'm battling this.
He
He's really
can't get the
fighting
microphone to go
No, I'm
low
just gonna have to
enough.
hold on to this.
That's because that's Quintin's mic.
Yeah.
And
well, the tension is too high, so
you can scoot closer, and it probably will follow. Like if you, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. If you
Yeah,
lower the tension
sure we
and
will.
then increase,
This is good content.
And
It makes us seem more
Yeah.
human.
okay,
We
back.
we seem like these
I guess.
otherworldly YouTubers.
Yeah, we're not
Sure.
as perfect as we seem, guys.
No.
We're not
We
as
have
well
flaws.
prepared.
We're not as well prepared as we seem.
We're not
It's
as well
even
prepared
worse.
as we seem.
No, so yeah, the mechanic of destroying things we were talking a little bit before the podcast. It feels like Wario World on the GameCube because the core kind of DNA of like a platformer Mario game style is there.
Yeah.
But then this
But
destruction
you kind of just
mechanic,
punch your way
it's
through
so
it.
good.
One of the things that I love that immediately, like, it feels a lot like Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. Same
obviously.
team. Yeah.
But then like the thing that's different is Odyssey. It's actually very similar to the difference between like classic Super Nintendo Mario and Donkey Kong, in that like Mario was much more of like a platformer, and Donkey Kong was about doing these crazy complicated things involving like enemies and rolling things. And like in Mario Odyssey, you would see a moon and you would be like, how do I get across this crazy contraption to get it? And in Donkey Kong, you see nothing. They do not show you the bananas because if you see it, you can just punch your way to it.
Literally just punch your
You
way
can
to it.
literally... Donkey Kong can climb up sheer cliffs like he's like freaking Link.
Yeah, he has no... Go ahead, Harrison.
He has no style.
So it's like open world?
It's
Well,
like
it's
a
like sandbox, like Mario Odyssey.
It's like
Okay,
Mario
so
Odyssey.
okay.
You drop into an area.
But I will say it's like it is more open than Odyssey though, because
A little bit, yeah.
because Odyssey had to obscure things and hide and things from you and create these complicated, and Donkey Kong, it's just like a big open field, and there's nothing, you can't see anything because everything is hidden underneath
Underground,
it.
yeah.
It's probably a game I'm going to replay. I'm going to play Bonanza and then play
Yeah.
Mario, but I'm boycotting Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And I'm boycotting it.
Because you're channeling Quintin?
No. Here's the thing. Last year, Nintendo produced roughly 6.2 billion Mario games.
Okay.
And now they have made one Donkey Kong.
It's true.
It's true.
And I don't see K. Rool anywhere on that box art.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
No one's on the box art
Here's
except for
the thing.
Donkey Kong.
He might be in the game. And when I
Could be.
discover that he's in the game, I will play the
Then
game.
you'll play the game.
But I'm boycotting it.
I
There's
haven't
gotta
gotten very
be-
far.
I haven't gone very far, but I've
There's
seen
a lot of crocodilian stuff.
there's a lot
going
of
on. Crocoids are like one of the main enemies. They're like big crocodile. They're like, technically,
They're dead.
They are reanimated
Yeah.
crocodile skeletons that are reanimated with magic gold. Stick with me.
Yeah.
And then they cover themselves in dirt to make themselves look like crocodile heads.
Let him cook.
And then you just you rip them out of the dirt and then punch them and they explode.
It does feel like, have you ever seen terminal montages Donkey Kong content?
It's just as
It's
unhinged.
just as unhinged as that. Donkey Kong's just like
Listen,
just smashing
guys.
everything.
That is a very complicated way to not put Kremlins in the game.
Yeah,
is.
that's true.
No, it
Like,
is.
You're not wrong.
we could just put King K. Rool, or this dirt creature could assemble itself around a wooden creature that then puts armor on and gets magic. Or you could just have King K. Rool.
You could.
Right.
He
Well,
could
but
change his hats out if you need more versions.
Can they even put K. Rool in it? Because
Yeah, sure.
he's owned by Rare.
No.
Right?
Rare
No.
didn't get to own anything from Donkey Kong. Honestly, Rare almost didn't own Banjo and Kazooie. That was like part of the Microsoft acquisition. Microsoft paid for Banjo and Kazooie specifically, and then buried them in a shallow grave behind
where they
their
rest
offices.
to this day.
Yeah. No, I will
Could
say.
you sorry, real
Go ahead.
quick. Could you imagine a Banjo-Kazooie game like Donkey Kong Bonanza?
No, I will say Donkey Kong Bonanza. One of the concerns was that like they're moving away from the Rare Donkey Kong games. That like
Like the
Nintendo
phone.
doesn't like them. And as someone who's playing it now, I can say that's not true at all.
No.
The ambient music is very much. They have taken the identity of Donkey Kong from the country games and baked it into this game. It's just that it's not just, which
It's
I
not the
think
same.
it needed to be new because Donkey Kong has been kind of stuck with the country games.
Well,
and
it's
not
like
able
it's
to
like 2D
move on.
Mario versus 3D Mario.
Yeah.
I've always said that 2D Mario and 3D Mario are way different games.
Yeah.
Like they're extremely they in some ways don't even feel like the other game series that transition from 2D to 3D like Zelda feel much more, even Metroid, which is a very different kind of game with like Metroid
is
Prime.
very different,
But
yeah.
structurally, it is very similar to the original Metroid. You're going
True.
through like hallways and you're exploring and you're getting power-ups.
Yeah.
And 3D Mario is not structurally like 2D
No.
Mario in the least.
No.
And so like this is to Donkey Kong what 3D Mario was. It's the
agree.
same like core principles. It has that
Yeah.
same like design philosophy, but it's expressed in a very different way. But it does retain that kind of Banjo-Kazooie-esque, Donkey Kong 64-esque, like it is a collectathon, you know?
It is.
I am a little concerned, and that's something I brought up a couple of times before, is that I'm a little concerned that all of the styles are starting to look really similar at Nintendo. It's starting to feel like if you take the enemies and like shuffle them all around and then put them up on a wall, it would be impossible for like someone who hasn't played the games to figure out which game they go in.
Expand on that.
So like if you look at like a lot of enemies, like originally like Zelda had these like this really strong like fantasy style that kind of peaked with like Twilight Princess.
Right.
And then like Mario had these more cartoony looking characters.
Sure.
And then Donkey Kong, while it was in a very similar art style, that 3D graphic thing they did in the original Super Nintendo where it was like a 3D model they had like taken screenshots of, had this like cobbled together thing where like the Kremlin sometimes were like in a barrel and they'd come out like run. And, it looked like almost like junk put together.
Yeah.
Right.
They all these really, you could set all those enemies side by side. You would instantly be able to tell that they're all from different games. Now, the graphics and they do a lot of like cartoony cell shading across the board. And I think for like Zelda has definitely found a style that looks a little more like it's a little more Zelda identity. It has that like it doesn't look like Mario or like the new Donkey Kong a ton.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff is like that Nintendo puts out nowadays, like Splatoon and Mario and Donkey Kong. They're all starting to look a little more similar. And when I was looking over watching some stuff for Bonanza, don't get me wrong, it looks really good, like really, really good. But I was looking at some of the like enemy design, and it did look a little similar to the art styles are all getting a little similar. I hope they go like start swinging real wide with the next stuff.
I think this is something that happens as games move into like higher and higher fidelity. I feel like as you get higher fidelity with your graphics, things counterintuitively start to look more similar, and you have to get really weird and stylized. If I showed you an enemy from Elden Ring and an enemy from Lies of P, and then I showed you an enemy from that Black Myth Wukong, I defy you to tell me which is from which game.
Because I don't know any.
There's no way. And then I showed you an enemy from Resident Evil, and you still couldn't tell me which was from which game.
But you want to know something?
Photorealism does run into that issue.
Yeah.
But you want to know
more
something?
Than art style.
Show me an enemy from Elden Ring. Show me an enemy from Final Fantasy VII-R, and then show me an enemy from Claire Obscura, and I think anyone could pick them apart.
True.
Like
Sure.
those games all have like this real strong sense of identity. Like you were saying, they kind of have to go because the graphic fidelity has gone up.
Yeah.
Like Claire Obscura has this really unique, like first of all, Claire Obscura just has a really unique camera angle.
Yeah.
So if it's a screenshot, everyone's going to tell.
Of course.
I think the thing
But
is,
like, yeah.
I think the thing is if you were to show someone, if you were to walk in on someone playing like any of those games that Ethan was talking about, and if you were to remove the main character, would you be able to tell what game they're playing? I think is the main thing. Just from the screen alone, because like if Donkey Kong, I think what I'm understanding is that like if you were to remove Donkey Kong from like screenshots of Donkey Kong Bonanza, it kind of would look like Mario Odyssey.
That's the thing. I think once you play it, you'll see that that's not the case at all, because I think the team specifically went out of their way to make sure, because the underground world uses a lot of color palettes and stuff that's not natural, that's like not something like a big orange sky or a big purple sky or something. And then the enemies specifically are so esoteric to this game, like the way this game works, is that they have like a soft inner core, like a skeleton, and then they build like material around themselves that Donkey Kong can destroy, but it doesn't actually do anything to
You're not harming them.
You're not harming them, so they keep moving through it. So they have these more geometric shapes to them and stuff. Whereas like
I'd be interested to dive more into it and see like how strong of an art style it has.
Yeah, I think that what's interesting, especially like the front cover of the game, it's this like deep black background with yellow accents, which is not Mario at all. And then it actually uses my favorite tri-color combo with it as a cyan sort of pinkish magenta, and then yellow, which is sort of the colors of the game. But I mean, Donkey Kong and Mario have never been like on the opposite ends of the spectrum artistically. Like the beaver from Donkey Kong 64. If you just saw a cartoon beaver,
that guy could be in Mario 64.
He could be in Mario 64.
Yeah.
He could be in Banjo-Kazooie.
But
I think the toxic waste like dumps that were in Donkey Kong 2 are really unique to Donkey Kong.
I actually feel like the Super Nintendo, basically every game, and this is I think an artifact of pixel art and the way it's made.
Yeah.
Every game had a really strong and very unique art style. It was hard to find two games that did look similar, and I feel like it's because in 3D you can reuse a lot more than you can with like pixel art. If you reuse, you kind of have to. You absolutely have to.
Well, like in the NPCs that you talk to are like rocks, and so if you showed me an NPC that's like a rock with a chunk missing out of it, it's
I'll say that
Kong.
like the new the character design, right, of like Donkey Kong and like Pauline does look like somebody that could be in Mario Odyssey because she could be, and that's kind of one of the things is that like Donkey Kong and Mario overlap a lot, right?
They do, yeah.
And so I think there's gonna be a lot more of that crossover. It's interesting that you mentioned Splatoon though, because I think of Splatoon as having very unique looking characters.
Oh yeah,
it is still very cartoony.
I can see where Ethan's coming.
They're pulling a lot of the like the like you said, like the choices on color is different from Mario, but they're pulling a lot of like general palettes that are all like a lot of bright colors, right? A lot of like solid colors.
Sure.
And so while the individual colors they select are different between the games, they're not just doing a lot of the same things with those colors.
Well, actually, I don't think so. Like in the sense that like when you go into like the underground world, and you'll see it when you play it. Like in a lot of ways, we're describing something you're not familiar with.
I've seen a little bit. It very much reminded me of Mario Wonder, like these like the like colors that kind of stand out at you a little bit. Mario Wonder, I felt like had a very different art style. Like when the Wonder effect happened, I thought that was kind of pretty unique for Mario.
Oh, sure.
So like it's Mario, but it's like you said, it's left field Mario, and Donkey Kong and Mario have never been super far apart. Which is why this is not like, when I say this, it's not like a huge concern that like all Nintendo games now look the same.
Yeah.
It's that there used to be these like things they did that were really different.
Yeah.
Where like Donkey Kong had this like grunge element.
Yeah.
Where like
I was getting ready to just say that like Bonanza Mario is very much defined by like the very clean. Mario has a very like straightforward look to its graphics usually. Very like the new series took it to a level that I think a lot of people didn't like. It was almost like sterile and like very clean looking.
Yeah.
But Bonanza is similar to Odyssey's style, but like with a more rough, like man-made look to everything. Everything looks like it's cobbled together instead of like those nice clean lines of like even like the Steam Gardens in Odyssey looks like it used to be nice and it's just old now.
Yeah.
In Bonanza, it looks like the world is very like rough and poorly put together, like it's built by animals, which is kind of what Country did originally. But the moment where you realize that this is like not a Mario game that really hits home is when
Donkey Kong shows up.
Is when Donkey Kong,
the guy who appeared
guy.
in Mario.
Yeah.
Mario's first game.
Like I was saying, like if you just show a screenshot, like of if you were walking on someone playing it and Donkey Kong's on the screen, you'll definitely tell it's a Donkey Kong game.
Right.
But don't they literally use the same model for Donkey Kong as they did in Mario Kart World?
No.
It's a different model.
I mean, same design,
like the art,
but
same
it's not the
same
design
model
at all.
But
His fur is really basic in Mario Kart, and he's a much smaller polygon model. This one's a very highly detailed, especially his fur. His fur is like individual little.
What do you think the first game? So like we now have confirmation that Mario or that Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart World started off as Switch 1 games.
They did
early in their life. When do you think we're going to get the first like ground up Switch 2 first party Nintendo game?
It usually takes a while, right? Like the first ground up from the ground up Switch game was actually, it didn't take that long. I think the first one was ARMS. I think ARMS was built initially as a technical demonstration.
Yeah, maybe.
But
yeah, I mean there have been tech demos that were made for it. But
so
like,
ARMS would be more like this drag and drive game that was just developed solely for Switch 2.
Yeah.
So that would be there we go. We answered your
That
question.
doesn't count.
That answered your
Oh,
no,
that doesn't count.
probably. I mean, here's the thing: is that a lot of these games have been in development for a long time and have been finished for a long time.
Of course,
that's the
yeah.
part that those like Ask the Developers is not saying.
Yeah.
Is that like these games have been done for a long time.
Right.
Like they were not finished last week. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza potentially was ready to go in 2023. Like we really don't know.
Yeah.
And so like they shifted to the Switch 2
Yeah.
in 2020 along with things like Mario Kart World.
I'm still
but,
I'm still really waiting on the like when you talk about the first Switch 2 game, like I've joked about this before, but I am kind of getting a little upset that I don't have any game that uses the mouse that's made by Nintendo.
It's weird.
You want to
I
know?
like I
weird.
really want it, and it's not like I'm like saying like it's.
We're
bad.
gonna-
I'm
this
excited for this function.
Yeah.
If a Nintendo Direct gets announced this week, by the way, is a big rumor,
Yeah.
and it gets announced before we upload this podcast, this is the point where we insert Metroid.
Yeah,
as
You wanna
coming,
know
right,
something?
right.
because it definitely uses the mouse.
You want to know
Yeah.
something funny about the mouse controls? There is a boss in Deltarune Chapter 4 that is specifically designed to use the mouse in Switch 2. It's
That's
the
cool.
only the Switch 2 version is the only version to actually like use the mouse controls. The other versions, it's kind of like tries to emulate it a little bit.
Right,
It's
right.
I played it on Switch 1. It was really weird, but I just thought that was so funny when I got to that boss, and I was like, this would be perfect for Switch 2. And then I looked it up, and it was like one of the few games to actually utilize the mouse feature
control.
of Switch 2.
That's cool.
I really hate
I don't
that-
even think the PC version uses the mouse.
That's very funny.
That would
Really?
be hilarious.
I
That'd
don't
be
think so.
weird.
I'll have to double check that.
The really sad part is that your roommate has a Switch 2 in his room that's collecting dust, and
Yeah.
you could just put your account on there and play Switch 2 games.
Harrison just realized that just now.
I did see the
problem-
cogs in his brain.
No, the
moving,
problem
yeah.
is that I'll have to go into his room to.
That's true.
We've got one of those
That's
grabber
fair.
claws.
I've got a fishing pole. You can use that to maybe hook it.
Yeah.
And bring it out.
I could probably try to like talk him into just putting it downstairs in the living room
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a good
I mean,
idea.
because that's a shared space.
Don't let him watch this episode.
Yeah, don't.
All right,
watch
Harrison, what have you been playing?
Yeah, Harrison, what have you
Yeah.
been playing?
Okay.
bro?
Well, speaking of my
Is
roommate,
it Donkey Kong Bonanza?
No, it's not.
Oh,
So you all know me. I
Very
really
well.
like weird stuff.
Is it a game where
Do
you
you?
treat where you?
Quintin is my best friend.
Is it a game where you date horses?
No.
I figured
Maybe
that
that
you were
weird.
playing a game where like there were girls and they
There
race like horses. The next step was to take a game where there are horses and you treat them like girls.
there are no horses in this game.
Oh,
I'm just very
So-
upset. Why are we even here?
Yeah, why are
So-
we even talking
Sorry
about
about it
this?
up.
To sort of paint the picture before I start talking about the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
The actual game. Actually, let me get my phone ready because I gotta. So this game came out August 2015. It's called Hylix.
Okay.
It's an Earthbound inspired indie RPG, just like every other indie
Game
RPG.
you play, yeah.
But like so Undertale is another Earthbound inspired
Sure.
indie RPG.
Never heard of
another
it.
one of my favorite games.
You could be talking about nothing. I wouldn't know.
So Undertale, I would say, is more like it takes more of like the humor of Earthbound, because Earthbound is like it's both weird and it's also funny.
Yeah, weird and wacky. is what we
Weird and
call it.
wacky.
Yeah.
Undertale is the wacky. Hylix is the weird,
Okay.
which is very interesting because it did come out a month before Undertale
Oh.
did.
Interesting. So what you're saying is Undertale is a ripoff of Hylix.
Yeah.
He made it,
No.
he created it in a month, and then just put it out.
That's impressive.
It's developed by Mike Lindroth.
Okay.
It is a single developer game.
Shout out to Mike, friend of the pod.
It's very short. I beat it in like 3 hours.
We don't even want you on the pod, Mike.
I would describe the game as being very psychedelic. If you
What's
if you
the
look
gameplay style? Is it like a
it
turn-based
was
RPG?
it was made in RPG Maker
Okay.
X, I believe.
Oh,
Interesting.
I mean,
So it's very
yeah.
the gameplay is very simple because
Yeah.
it feels more like a guy who was an artist learned how to use RPG Maker to make a game than like someone who's like a game dev who's like learning how to like draw.
Right.
Because like gameplay is very basic. It's you can tell that like there's a lot of stuff that was just like RPG Maker assets that he just kind of like renamed.
Right.
Instead of having like Phoenix Downs, he just renamed it Warm Burrito. Because when you kill enemies, they drop frozen burritos. You then have to go to a microwave in one of the cities, and you have to microwave each and every single frozen burrito into a warm burrito.
Nothing that Quintin has ever told me about Undertale made me want to play it. He just said you revive people with warm burritos. I want to play this.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
I already want to play this game.
You level up. So like the interesting thing is like you don't level up like with experience points.
Yeah.
When you defeat enemies, you get meat. You then have to kill yourself.
Oh.
You have to die, and you get resurrected in this like portal room.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to a meat grinder to actually level yourself up.
Huh.
What are some other interesting facts about the game?
Sounds like he was just hungry the entire time he made it.
Yeah.
I need a warm burrito. I need meat.
It was like 1 in the morning. He was microwaving a burrito, and he's like, I'm revived.
Yeah. Like the whole game, like the story is that you're a moon guy named Wayne. There's another moon guy named Gibby. You got to kill him. Why? Because he's a moon guy.
Oh, okay.
That is quite literally.
I believe that's the
plot of Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the plot of Highlander too.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
So to give you more of like an idea of like the sort of like vibe. Sure. So another thing that's interesting about the game is that a lot of the dialogue is actually like it's like poems that like a lot of the characters, like you talk to them and like they don't make sense, and then people have like connected some of the dialogue to like different poems that have been written. The opening of the game, to give you an idea of like the style of the game, like how in Final Fantasy 1 when you start, there's like that crawl where it's like explaining like here's the story, here's the prologue. Now you go out, has a scene very similar to that, but this is like the prologue introductory.
Go for it.
It's incomplete concavity greatly forgets the luxuries. The people destroy thanks to a hope. It is a sound near a field. It is like a theory. Inside world. Meanwhile, Gibby, king of the moon, sniffs a furnace in the pneumatic truth brain. Thus, your story begins.
I don't want to play this game. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
No, if you looked at like footage, because the reason I found out about it is because people were talking about dithering and pixel art, whether it's good or not. It's a game that a lot of it uses dithering, because a lot of it looks just like it looks like someone took like photographs with like the Game Boy camera.
Yeah.
And then just like uploaded that as like sprite art.
Right.
When you use dynamite, because that's an item you can get. When you use it, the animation for using it is like the test footage from like a nuclear bomb going off of like a house. That that video of the house. Yeah. It's just that, but it looks like it was recorded with the Game Boy camera.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
And it's not really cool.
I like it.
I'm curious.
It's very trippy. It looks like it was made.
The more you talk about it, I feel like I've seen it. It's only on PC or it's on?
Yeah, it's only on PC. Yeah. $3 on Steam.
What was it called?
Hylix.
Yeah. Okay.
Very cool. I imagine the game is probably a lot better if you like drop acid before you play it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's very cool.
So
that's
really cool. There's a sequel, and I got it, and I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to, and I'll probably talk about that next episode.
Is it called Lolix?
It's called Hylix 2.
Oh, lame.
Ty, did we cover yours with Donkey Kong?
Bonanza?
Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
My current review of Donkey Kong Bonanza is like, what if Minecraft was a game?
Oh, no, it's possible.
And it was fun.
Impossible.
How cool would that be?
Minecraft was a game, and it was fun.
Yeah, exactly. Right. What if it was again?
Someone I work with dropped an insult on someone they don't like by telling them bro, you're the Java edition of Minecraft.
The better
But that's
edition.
the good edition.
better one.
Yeah.
But it's the one that's like not getting like
Oh,
updated.
no one cares
That's
about
true.
it
They
anymore.
don't update it
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah,
But it gets all the mods.
I would-
It does get all the
fans
mods,
updated.
Yeah.
but it's
It's the
just getting-
forgotten stepchild.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
She then did also
pretty
call
good.
the Apple iOS, which I thought was a better
That's
burn.
pretty good.
That was a
That's pretty
better
good.
burn.
No,
Yeah.
in Bonanza, the moment I was calling it Minecraft was, let's see, recording still going? Yeah. The moment I started calling Bonanza Minecraft was I had been destroying everything, just completely destroying everything. But I got to a point where like there was something off in the distance, and it's made of metal, so I can't just destroy my way to it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how to get to that. But then there's all this like clay and soft dirt around me. I was like, huh. And so I start picking it up and throwing it and making like a little clay bridge.
Yeah.
And then I just walked across the clay bridge to get to
It's
it.
incredible.
And I was like, this is Minecraft if it was made by people who know how to make video games
Oh.
and want you to have fun.
Interesting.
So the point where I know Ethan's going to get hooked
Yeah.
is as soon as he gets his first skill point and he sees a skill tree
I did see
Yeah.
the skill tree
in a
Looks good.
Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
He's going to be like, I can take
bananas.
this game down to my dungeon.
That's
I
right.
will make the optimal.
What
Donkey
the
Kong
optimal
build.
Donkey Kong build? I
Yeah.
love it.
This is the punching build.
This is
you
the
gotta
punching
really, you gotta really
build.
level the punching.
Yeah.
you do level your punching.
It's like Skyrim.
It's
Well,
just
guys,
like
that's what we've
Skyrim.
been playing. What have you guys been playing? Tell us down
We've
in the
been playing.
comments.
No one asked me what I was playing.
Ethan,
We don't
what have you
care
been
about you.
playing? I forgot about you.
Yeah.
That's never happened before. What have
Oh
you
my
been playing,
God.
Ethan?
Guys, I have been playing
Uh-oh.
Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm going to shout it out here because I play Dungeons and Dragons in person, where I am one of those poor,
Lame.
unfortunate souls
What?
that is forced to be the DM for all of eternity.
Right.
But the reason I wanted to shout it out is I have been playing D&D in a website app called Questline. I've been wanting to shout
You
this out
told
for a
me
little
about
while.
that. Yeah, yeah.
It is super good if you are going to play a post by post campaign where you just like flip your phone out. You kind of play it like a mobile game. You have like all of your attacks, like you can put them on a hotbar on the bottom, and you can type things out in the different chat channels. And the map is persistent. You don't always have to. The DM doesn't always have to have it like launched. The players can just come in and kind of look around the map, figure stuff out. Enemies have like health bars, big circles. It looks and feels like a video game that you can automate or manually input as much or as little as you want.
Yeah.
So we've been doing a lot of automation, and we're running this little sandbox campaign. And I've been
You
playing
said it's play as you go, so you can just pull your phone out, see if it's your turn, see what happened. Yeah.
exactly. Like, and then you can roll. Like you roll.
So theoretically, you could
open.
open your phone, and then all of a sudden, it's like, by the way, you're dead.
It's
yeah.
it's possible.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's happened to a couple players already. They've been knocked down. But yeah, the creator of it has been working on it for 5 years, and he's been doing it basically solo. You get access to, you can get an account for free, but you can get access to like all the DMing tools and like host your own games for $5 a month. It's a super good deal if you play tabletop RPGs. It's great. You can like talk. You can literally. The guy loves to get suggestions from people. So like, I actually wound up in a Discord call with him because he was fixing a problem.
Oh, wow.
Our game was having. At 11:40 at night, he hopped on a Discord call to fix my game.
Wow.
which
Just
was
with you or like
Yeah,
with other people?
just
too?
with me. We just
Wow.
debugged part of the problem. There had been like a little glitch with something I had very stupidly put into the uploaded files. I improperly formatted something in a way no normal person would have done. I was trying to be clever.
Yeah.
It was not.
That's what
but
you
he was
get.
helping me. This is literally what I get. But he was helping me fix it, and we were talking a little bit about the process he's gone through of making it. He's made it all himself. One of the things he said to me, the reason I'm shouting it out here is because one of the things he said to me was like, yeah, if any of your players have a suggestion for something, he's like, I love to hear them. I put
wow.
them in all the time.
Cool.
And so like he's just updating like it works with like Star Wars and it works with Pathfinder, and he's just updated the system just like a couple days ago to work more with Warhammer 40K.
Oh, cool.
And so like I've used a lot of tabletop RPGs, and most of the time there's like that distinction where they are kind of like, they're 4 when you have everyone together there and you can narrate.
Which is kind of the thing that holds most people back from tabletops is just the time sink.
Yeah.
Like you have to dedicate time because you're not going to be able to just sit down and get the entire experience in one setting.
Right.
Like you're going to need more time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Which a play as you go is perfect for.
Play by post, it feels like
it's very different experience.
It's a very different experience.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's like we were talking about with like Mario. It's very different and also very familiar. Right?
Yeah,
very different,
right.
very similar. This one feels a little more like a game, and he's just it's a virtual tabletop made by a guy who actually has played the game. He's played Dungeons and Dragons, and he knows what matters and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And so he has ideas for things he wants to implement that are really cool, and they'd be really awesome, but they're not necessary. And he's gotten all the necessary stuff first.
Right.
And then he's gotten...
Which is the way you should do it.
Which is the way you should do it. And even these big companies don't do that. They put in stuff that they think is going to look good in a YouTube clip, or that someone who doesn't know the game is going to get drawn in.
Right.
But they don't know the right things to put in.
Right.
And then a lot of them, they just don't update. Like... D&D Beyond is the official website of Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
And that's what I DM out of when I'm in person.
Yeah.
And they rarely update their virtual tabletop. They only launched it like a year or two ago. And so they're already behind the curve on virtual tabletops. And they just don't update it frequently enough. It has like problems since day one that they haven't fixed yet. Like sharing, like token sharing. And so like I've worked with that. I've worked with some other ones that are good but like overly complicated. His is like the perfect mix, especially if you're going to be playing, like post by post. Yeah, when I was talking with him, that's the reason that he started it. Most post by post campaigns are done in Discord, which is just like, and he's like, they're impossible. Like you're just trying to keep track of like things being posted and when they were, and they're just impossible. He was 5 years ago. He was playing in a campaign and trying to DM it. All on Discord, like a post by post campaign, and he was just like, he was like, I'm gonna just have to make my own thing to make this work.
Which
and so he just started coding.
He just started,
he just started coding.
He's like, this thing doesn't exist. I'll just make it exist.
And when we were talking, he talked more about like he wants to keep the core of D&D, of the imagination, of like the visual aspect, and he wants to automate things and give people control over that automation. So he's like, he has a plan for like attacks rolling against armor class and adding damage all from one button.
Oh, okay.
But for right now, it's kind of fun to narrate those things. And he's like, there should be a choice between those. It's not necessary to do that. It's a cool thing, but it's not something you need.
Sure.
And he's like, so he has like a real clear vision for it. And it is kind of like playing a video game. It is kind of like, you kind of go from one action to the next, and it's like a mobile game. You just flip your phone out and play when you have like a minute or two, write some interesting stuff in the chat, and then bop out. It's neat.
The play as you go chess games are really like fun.
Those are super
fun.
fun.
That's a very similar concept. I think it's a good way for adults who have jobs and lives to actually engage with something like that. That's a little bit
takes
more
a lot of time.
It's also
time sink,
the last thing I'll say about it also is, if you go on YouTube and you look up what people who play D&D are talking about, like the ways they play it, in person, they tend to play it very differently. In person, it feels more like, this is actually the weird thing. In person, it's often way more like Baldur's Gate, where it's like your characters are at full health, full spells, and they go into a fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
In D&D, what really is supposed to happen is you're supposed to have 3 to 8 encounters in between a long rest, which means like, you're supposed to do a little more resource management.
Sure.
So like sustained characters like fighters and warlocks tend to kind of be bad in actual at the table D&D because you're always going into a fight. Essentially, it's like going into a fight with all of your mana, like all of your abilities are at max charge, right? In actual D&D, like the wizard shouldn't actually be able to cast a fireball every fight, because then they'll run out of fireballs when they're fighting.
Right.
Yeah, because it takes your spell slots, and then you just have none left when the big bad shows up, right? Yeah. Like they're supposed to be more tactical.
It's why roguelikes got so popular, is because you don't get to reset. Like you can't just run back to your base real quick and cheese it. Right. You have to if you've got a shotgun and it's got 6 shots, you better not waste every single one of them. Yeah.
In person D&D, most DMs say it's 2, maybe 3 encounters in between long rests. And it's usually, if there's like a boss fight, it's usually just the boss fight.
Right.
And that's not actually how the game is balanced to be run. If you go into the Dungeon Master's Guide, that is not how they suggest to build it. If you read like any of the like adventure books, that is not how they run boss battles. Like if you take a long rest right at the last boss's door, he goes somewhere else, right? He like gets more of his minions, right? Like you can't spend 24 hours.
That's very video game logic, where like the big bad is here to destroy the world. Let me do some side quests and take a nap.
Playing post by post is a really cool way to play just rules as written.
Sure.
Like I when I run the campaign, like the campaign I actually run, I do play it that way, is that like I do like 1 or 2 combats and then a boss fight, or just a boss fight, you know. I've done some times where it's like, the long rests are really hard to get, but for the most part I just like to try and balance around like, what if you were at your max strength and you fought the toughest guy you could imagine, right? Like that's fine, because like you said, we're all adults, we don't have a ton of time to play. Like
you get a similar experience, but you don't have to sync as much.
You get a similar experience, you don't have to sync as much when you're playing post by post. Like in the post by post campaign, in 1 week we had 3 fights, because it's just like, actually when you're like just taking your action when you can, it goes really fast.
It goes
shockingly fast. When you're sitting in person, like sometimes players are like talking, or sometimes they're like struggling to figure out what to do,
dragged out more.
It's a little more dragged out. You have to calculate a few things. People are rolling dice and being bad at math. It is neat to play the game as it's intended, without like
no fluff,
making it fit, because you know we don't want to have 2 months where we're fighting in the same encounter. You know, like they kind of want to get on with the story. They want to move forward. It is neat to have that though.
Cool.
So
what's the app called?
The app is called, well, it's not really an app, it's a website. It's called Questline.
Questline.
All one word. And
.com?
Yes, I believe. I think
we'll put it right
Google,
here.
I think it's like Questline
VTT.
Well, it's called .gov. This is like
a government sponsored D&D.
Ethan was just on the phone with like a government worker.
It's not the weirdest thing.
Very cool. So if you're in the D&D but you have a life, go to Questline.gov.
Pretty dismissive.
Of the
pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate.
I wouldn't know anything about having a hobby that people look down on. I have video games. Well, guys, it sounds like we've talked about what we're playing. By the way, tell us what you've been playing. Unless it's
don't. We're not cops.
Unless it's you have to get
Harrison
down there.
Kind of
do
is
it right now.
Harrison actually kind of
stop
is a
resisting.
Cop.
That's a good time to go to topic of the week. Topic of the week. Harrison, reach your sensuous claw into the topic bag. That's backwards. And you're not even doing it like dramatically.
Yeah, there's nothing sensuous about that.
I just do a drum roll.
Put like Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah. Looks like Ethan's hand.
It is Ethan.
Oh, hey, cool.
Not Nintendo, but has Nintendo vibes.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
This is my answer. I think this is my
Astrobot.
answer for last week as well. But Undertale Deltarune.
Yeah.
Really, I've never played Undertale. It feels like a Nintendo game, though.
Well, I mean,
the point of it is that it doesn't feel like any other video game.
It very much feels like Earthbound.
Yeah.
Earthbound. It's like Earthbound and Homestuck are Toby Fox's like 2 main inspirations.
Interesting.
I'll think of a better example, but that's my.
Ty, you said Astrobot.
I agree with
Astrobot. I agree with you, though.
Yeah.
I think it very much does.
Very much so.
I mean, this is your topic, Ethan, but does it become disqualified if it showed up on a Nintendo console or anything like that?
No.
Yeah, I mean, what? So I'm gonna. I don't think you took it far enough.
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
I'm just gonna come at it from a different angle, actually. Yeah, what elements do you feel like make something feel like Nintendo? I know what I would think, but I want to know what You would think, audience, who cares about anybody in this room?
Comment down below.
Comment down below.
Please like and subscribe. Interact with us for the algorithm.
Yes. You know what actually
That was
makes
very
me
natural.
think of
Good job.
one thing that makes me think of Nintendo.
Yeah.
And this is going to seem very odd.
Okay.
Because it's a stylistic thing.
Right.
Nintendo has a lot of different styles.
Yeah.
But a stylistic thing is roundness.
In art style, or
Yeah.
you mean in?
Yeah, like their worlds, their characters, everything. Even when there are angles,
Right.
everything just kind of feels a little rounder as
Interesting.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
And that's something Astrobot also does. The world feels very kind of like there's a curvature to everything.
Right.
It's not necessarily roundness. It's like there's curvature to everything, and there are plenty of like hard planes, but there's fewer.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like that makes me think Nintendo when I see it in terms of the art style, at least.
I think kind of similar vein to your point. I think that when the game feels like you're playing with a toy more than it does than you're trying to have some curated cinematic or otherwise like intrinsically artistic experience. I think a Nintendo game, and Astrobot feels this way, is like when you pick up one of those toys you saw at a Cracker Barrel, and it looks simple and dumb, and you're like, what is this? And then you actually try to like get the ball to go into the little wooden cup, and you're like, oh shoot, this is hard.
And you
and
finally do it, and you have a spiritual experience.
and you're like, I did it. And then you notice like a little etched writing on there, and it's like, hey, now try to do it with the cup on its side.
Luigi can now be played.
You unlocked Luigi.
You unlock Luigi. He's just standing beside you.
And you're like, ah. No, that's a Nintendo feeling to me, where like, I've told this story on the pod before, but if you're new here, I'll tell the story again. I saw a guy in an EB Games back in the day. Mario Galaxy was coming out that week, and they had a demo for it on the little Wii
You've
stand.
dated yourself so hard.
I know.
Yeah.
A demo
2 words
stand at
there.
an EB
Boomer.
Games in North
Mario
America.
Galaxy coming out.
All
Yeah.
of those things don't exist anymore.
No, they don't. Well, they do in Canada.
Because Canada's in North America. It doesn't exist.
EB
They
Games
still
exist in
have- They still
Australia.
have North America in Canada.
It's
Oh,
yeah,
really?
still have
Yeah.
it.
I had no idea.
They also still have the Gulf of Mexico there.
Yeah.
Oh my
they
God.
sure do.
No,
The
but
rest of
EB
the
Games
world
does exist in Australia still.
Yeah. Anyways, point of the story is there was a guy in there who
Story
was
is Australia.
Ty
right?
does not get the point of
Yeah.
the story.
Just get it. No.
No, this guy came in, and he was like proclaiming, one of those loud mouths that come in.
Yeah.
I think he was literally, I'm not joking, I think he was buying Call of Duty. And
Amazing.
he saw the demo stand and all the promotional stuff, and he's like, yeah, I'm not really a Mario guy. I played as a kid, I'm not really a Mario guy. He kept saying he wasn't a Mario guy.
Yeah.
And it was very annoying. But then he literally, like, ironically picks up Mario Galaxy. He's like, all right, let's see what we're doing here. Let's see. And then there's this moment where, like, he's fighting the bee enemy that sort of, like, has a big, like, ground pound symbol, but you have to get the bee thing to fly up to him. And he's kind of like, and he starts like
You
he goes
watch him
silent,
revert to a
and you
child.
can see the
Yeah.
cogs turning, and he's like,
Mhm.
and then you see the like satisfaction that he's trying not to show when
Yeah.
he actually finally hits
Yeah.
the thing, and he's like, yeah, Mario, and then goes back to
Locked
He actually
in.
gets invested.
and
Yeah.
that's the thing is that like
Yeah.
it's
surprisingly
like,
deep. That's what it is. Surprisingly
deep, but it's that like immediate cerebral like a toy where you play with it, and it was designed to like it to inspire something in you.
Yeah.
Like you are going to feel something just by interacting with it.
deep. Right.
Not necessarily because of the way it looks or anything like that. I think people like us who grew up with Nintendo games are emotional about the characters and the art style and stuff like that because we grew up with it. And they have a lot of wonderful artists working with them. But more than that, I think Nintendo games draw you in with that.
Yeah.
So sort of the question is, for me, going back to Ethan's topic that I led everyone away
Right.
from. No, I think that Monster Hunter is a very Nintendo-esque game. Like it's also a very Capcom-esque game, and Capcom in general.
It's a Super Nintendo.
It's got that
specific,
old
very-
school vibe.
Yeah, it's got the old school vibe.
school hard.
It's that it's like because on the surface, like the monsters are just damage sponges, which is not very Nintendo. You know, Breath of the Wild was sort of odd that all of a sudden bosses and enemies are just damage sponges that you just hit until their health bar goes down.
Yeah.
There's no like, you know, you have to swing where the stall foe isn't blocking. There's none of that. But Monster Hunter, because of the fact that there is no health bar, it is a damage sponge, but there is no health bar. You have to learn how to read the monster to know if it's hurt. Is it limping?
No.
Like, does it have a cut where you hit it? Well, now you've broken a piece. Did Harrison cut the tail off?
Right.
Great question.
Great question.
Deep cut.
Great questions.
So that's a game that's not Nintendo.
Yeah.
But Nintendo vibes.
The game that I get that, because like the game that I was thinking kind of comes back to the you were saying, Ty, about the roundedness to it. Is I actually feel like V Rising has a bit of a Nintendo kind of flair to it. Because the games in that genre are normally like hyper gritty, and it's really not.
Yeah,
that's
It's
true.
like, and normally when games try to have like a really colorful cast of enemies, they tend to be like, they feel like Crash Bandicoot, like variety, right? But V Rising, they like the variety of enemies feel like kind of what you would see in a Nintendo game. They have this like, there's a colorfulness to them. There's like a really strong character identity, and then they just don't complicate it.
Right.
That's like something I associate with Nintendo, is like that roundness, like you were talking about, kind of comes from the fact that like if they don't need an edge, they don't put one. Right. So like in V Rising, like when they're designing their villains, they're like, this one girl is going to be like a frost archer. And so she has like a kind of cool design, but mostly it's just she has like a bow with a big ice on the outside of it. This other dude is a vampire hunter, and he just has like a big hat and two little red eyes like underneath it, because it's like all dark.
Like the Imamura, the artist, we were talking about him a few weeks ago, or I guess a few months ago, where he's reduction theory, where he creates a character and he goes, how much can I remove without changing the essence so that it's as clean and simple?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like all of V Rising is kind of that way. If they don't have to, like there's a whole area that's like in this like electric storm, and it's all like Frankenstein kind of technology there, like Tesla coils and stuff. And even then there is this like clear design to the villains that you fight there, to the bosses that you go up against. They are complicated because that's kind of the style.
Yeah.
But there's also just like, you look at them and you know their thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
And there is that like, for me, what clinches it, all those things come together, but what clinches it is it is a game where they decide that the camera is really important. And Nintendo often decides that the camera is important and then says, and it's not going to work like it does in other games.
Yeah, Mario 64 had, throughout its entire development, had one guy, and his whole job was just the camera.
Yeah. V Rising is like, well, it's a got crafting in it. You can build bases in it. Well, but what if it was like isometric and you were looking top down at your character? It's like, there's very few games that do that. This, it's like, that's going to be a part of it. The camera angle, like the camera position, is going to be feel really unique. And it kind of gives you those like Nintendo-y vibes. Like you could almost imagine any of the bosses like being a sticker in Smash Bros. So it's got that like strong sense about
Tribes of Midgar was kind of that way.
Tribes of Midgar is another one, that
was like,
also has an
feels like if Nintendo made a craft.
I feel like, and Tribes is one of the other ones that has that isometric camera, one of the very few, and it also, because I think it is that camera difference, the intentionality of putting the camera above a character in a crafter, it does kind of give it a Nintendo-y feel.
I think the indie space has a lot of games that we could say because they're very directly inspired by stuff from Nintendo.
Directly.
Undertale.
Undertale. I think another game that occurred. A lot of these games that I'm listing will like have originated on a Nintendo platform, but others that like Final Fantasy started off on a Nintendo platform, doesn't feel like a Nintendo game really.
It has its own.
But Dragon Quest to me very much does.
That's
it's
interesting.
very Nintendo-esque.
Yeah, I agree with that in the sense that like
it has retained that quality of that like Nintendo. It's kind of got that softness to all the like character designs. It's got a very simple but like very old school way of gameplay and
to go along with your point, I did think of another example.
Oh yeah.
If I ever had like imagine if I had like a brain injury, right? Like head trauma.
Harrison,
And-
do. You forget that you have a brain injury.
Do you still think we're on a podcast right now? Why are you talking?
Yeah, what are you
like that?
talking about?
And if I completely forgot who made Metroid
Yeah.
and who made Mega Man,
Right.
and if you were to show those games to me, and you were like, which one's made by Nintendo and which one's made by Capcom, I'd be like, well, Capcom made Resident Evil.
Yeah. So
So
Metroid.
obviously Metroid
Right.
is Capcom.
Yeah.
And Mega Man is a Nintendo made Mario.
Yeah.
So Mega
Because
Man.
even when Mega Man is trying to be grittier with the X series,
Yeah.
it's still like what was said before. Like it's
still-
still rounded.
It's
Like,
still very
everything
round,
Still kind of has
and
like
it
a
just
round.
and it just isn't as
The
somehow
villain
not
is
as gritty
Buzz
as
Lightyear.
somehow not as gritty at
Yes.
Sigma-
what?
Sigma is a pretty Buzz
Sigma
Lightyear
is
looking
kinda
dude.
true.
No, Sigma. No, he literally. I mean, I think Buzz Lightyear is inspired by Sigma.
really?
He has to be.
The
I mean,
jaw, the,
the
chin.
purple
like
head,
92.
yeah.
Little,
The
like,
chest
cut.
is literally the same. It's the green
Oh,
chest
that's
with
true.
the red.
Here's
That's
the
actually
two
a
of
good
them,
point.
and
Have
you
you- yeah.
decide.
That's a good
Was
point.
Buzz Lightyear
Look at the
inspired by
chin.
Sigma?
Yeah, like and somehow like it's
Mega
never as
Man's
gritty
a
as
great
Metroid.
pick.
But Mega Man-
Metroid
Mega
is
Man.
Nintendo going, hey, look, we can do it too.
We
Yeah.
can do it too. Yeah,
We can
right.
be gritty and dark and moody,
but still feels like a
Yeah,
toy.
but still
Mega
feels
Man's-
feels like a Nintendo
Yeah,
game.
But
has
Mega
that, like,
Man
toy-like
started
feel.
off as a Nintendo game, and for large portions of its history, it has been a Nintendo game, even
Yeah.
with some of the spin-offs.
True.
I
think it always-
Battle Network and Star Force.
Most of them
Yeah.
are on, I think, Nintendo platforms, right? The Zero
The-
series
yeah,
is
Zero, Legends and some of the X games.
I do think
Were
the
on
series, I
PlayStation,
think the
that's
series
right.
peak was on PlayStation, but for the most
Yeah.
part, it's appeared on Nintendo
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah.
But just like the whole like structure of like Mega Man, it's a 2D platformer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're shooting stuff. You're shooting little bullets.
Yeah.
You're collecting powers from guys you defeated. It
It is
feels
very
like
Nintendo-esque,
something
yeah.
that like Nintendo would make, but
Yeah,
they
that's
didn't.
kinda true.
They
That might
made
be
Metroid.
that might be the best example.
Mega
That's
Man might
pretty
be the
good.
best
Yeah.
example.
Mega Man
is solid.
definitely.
Because it's like a condensed experience. It's not like Castlevania that's like throw everything at the wall and
Yeah.
then whatever sticks is good, and then we'll have one
Yeah.
really great game and the rest of them will be kind of okay.
Oh my god.
I mean, because like Mega Man fits into Smash Brothers so well.
It does.
I
like,
forget that he's not
seamlessly.
I feel like Samus and Ridley just like they kind of stick out. Like
they
a sore
would stick.
thumb
They would
amongst-
stick out
Yeah.
if the Fire Emblem characters weren't
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
The
that's
Fire Emblem
true.
characters
Yeah,
bring us
true.
back
That's true,
to,
yeah,
to
yeah.
actual like
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And like Final Fantasy characters and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
No,
Which Fire Emblem feels more like a Square Enix game to
No,
me
it
than does a
absolutely-
Nintendo.
well, and that
Yeah,
has
it
that's
does.
interesting because
that should be another question.
that's really an intelligent systems game that Nintendo is publishing.
Intelligent.
That's true.
Yeah.
yeah, like that
Intelligent is like the guy who actually made Fire Emblem now makes games on
he
PC.
left. Yeah.
And he uses SRPG Maker to
Mhm.
make them. At first, I was sad when I heard that, but he's made some good
Yeah,
games.
he's made some good
apparently.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's called the Vestria series.
Mhm.
It's apparently very, very, very good.
Yeah, it's funny. I think too some games remind you of Nintendo games, both in the good and the not so good.
Right.
Like we'll go back to Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is an online game
Yeah.
that you play
Yeah.
online with your friends.
Yeah.
But like, good luck.
Good luck.
Because it's
Has the
always
jankiest-
has, especially old school Monster Hunter fans can relate to the fact that it's like, did you forget to eat before you left for the quest? Let's all just restart then.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope you're ready to die.
Even
you're ready
even
to
with like
die.
Wilds where they like you can eat after you start the quest, it's okay.
oh,
And like
yeah,
they did
I
a
know where
bunch of
you're gonna
stuff.
go.
They have the weirdest way of like cobbling your squad together where you got to join an environment link to go into the world together, but you can't start a mission together if you're in an environment link
Right.
and you got to do a different thing.
To
Right.
be fair, World wasn't as complicated as that.
No, but it was
It
yeah,
still
was
had
still
some of that
weird.
jank,
like if
but
you're playing the
Wild
main
felt like
if
a
you're playing
step
the main
back
story of
in that
World and you
regard.
want to do a story quest, can't start it with your friends. You got to get to the first cutscene
That
and
is
then
true.
your friends
Yeah.
can join you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Rise
right.
may
Which
be
I-
the only game that didn't do that.
As a lifelong Nintendo fan, I hate to say that's very
That's
Nintendo.
very Nintendo.
Actually, because I was going to mention, but you talk about games that aren't good that have Nintendo vibes. We've mentioned a couple times the game Pine.
Oh yeah,
It has
had Nintendo
mega
vibes.
Nintendo
It like
vibes.
it's like
Yeah.
Pine is like if you took every like Nintendo in general makes amazing games, but if you took every bad thing from those amazing games
and put it into a game
and put it into one game, you get Pine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pine developers.
I was gonna say I've never heard of it.
It's
but, yeah.
like
It was a Nintendo Direct, so you've definitely seen it before.
yeah,
I
it's
probably
like
have,
if you took the things that kind of irk you about Zelda and the things that maybe kind of irked you about like Mario or even like Metroid, and then you just mash those particular problems into a game.
Yeah.
You get Pine.
Which sounds terrible. That's like
No.
I mean,
wasn't
it's
right.
quite playable because I feel like Nintendo games at their worst are still just kind of playable.
sure.
Like the worst aspect of a Nintendo game is still playable, so
Yeah.
Pine is very playable.
Pine is
Right.
like the Nintendo thing where like they'll have a great idea and give you no reason to use it.
Yeah.
right.
I feel like Nintendo more often
They're
than
afraid.
any other company.
Well, I think the Wii. Yeah, I think with the like Wii and the Wii U taught people that like taught Nintendo that like they have these great ideas and then nobody wants to use them, so they're afraid to force you to use them. It's
True.
always very optional.
Yeah.
And there's always like one game that's like uses it amazingly, and
Yeah.
then you're like, I can't wait to see what they do with it, and then they
Like
nobody else.
Breath of the Wild has this super cool mechanic where when you have a like katana as a longsword, instead of spinning, you'll sheath it, and then when you let go, you'll slice with this big huge attack.
Yeah.
But the strongest weapon it's on is, first of all, almost impossible to find, and second of all, really weak.
Yeah.
And so it's like you put this cool thing in the game,
But then you don't.
but
really
you've not
use
given
it
me
for-
any.
They're like, we don't want
want
to force people to use this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do much more damage than a regular slash.
No.
It's cool, but it doesn't do that much more damage. And spinning is the highest damage attack in the game. So I'm like, why?
Yeah,
when can I
Nintendo-
use this?
Nintendo almost had another Nintendo trait is they almost don't care at all about the like upper or lower meta of the game because it's just a toy. Like they're literally just like they're just thinking about people who pick it up and play around and have fun. When people start talking about like Smash Bros and how like like Ganon is useless in competitive Smash Bros where it's just 1v1 and no items, Sakurai's like, I don't care. I was playing the other day with 6 people and a Ganondorf Warlock punched me because I wasn't looking at him.
I was distracted by a bomb.
Yeah, because I was distracted by a bomb.
with his items turned on.
Yeah.
Right.
I think going back to Mega Man, another thing about Mega Man that does make it feel very Nintendo. It was a game series that was doing really well till the mid 2000s. Then they forgot about it. Then they brought it back once for the Switch, and then never brought it back again.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know.
a very Nintendo.
I will say that Nintendo usually when they bring a game back, unless it's Star Fox specifically, they typically run with. Like Donkey Kong was gone for a long while, and then they brought it back, and they're like, okay, we're gonna run with it. Metroid was gone for a while, and they brought it back, and they're like, okay, here's Metroid again.
They also,
but then Star Fox was gone for a while. They did it one more time, and they're like, nah,
this didn't work.
Like a decade later, here's another Star Fox. Is it gonna work? Nah, moving on.
But
Yeah,
Kid
true.
Icarus did
this
well.
podcast will
right.
bring it back.
You're
No,
right.
Kid, that's a
Kid
Sakurai
Icarus,
problem.
yeah.
Sakurai
Bro.
likes to make one thing and then never.
Sa-
and then
no,
go
Sa-
back to Smash
No,
Bros.
Sakurai, he doesn't like to go back to Smash Bros. They
true.
break into his house and force him at gunpoint.
Keep making him.
I,
go
the,
back.
the
Icarus was a
rumor is
distraction
the rumor
from-
is that Kirby Air Riders only got made because Sakurai said he would only work on the next Smash Bros. If he got to make a game of his own in between.
Yeah, I don't believe.
And I kind of what makes me think about that is that like if all you did was Smash Bros for like 10 years, you might be like, guys, can I make something else?
I actually
just once.
I heard
Almost
that
30
he,
years.
I heard.
No,
that
he
he's
made.
actually-
How long ago was Kid Icarus?
Well,
2012.
I mean, if you've just been doing nothing but like if you've been doing Smash Brothers for 30 years.
Oh no,
Right,
yeah, he has been doing Smash Bros. But I mean nothing but.
I heard it was.
I think
the
he'll
DLC
always come back.
Pass 2. They
Oh,
asked him to
maybe.
do it, and he was like, "Fine, but I still want to make my own game."
I see.
And they were like,
That makes sense.
"Yeah, but
But
yeah." So good topic.
good
Ethan.
topic. Yeah,
That was a
I
great
liked it a
topic.
lot.
I like the not question topic.
Yeah.
that was just.
Yeah.
I
that
like
was
the
fun.
was
Quintin
good.
wasn't here for.
I like that Quinn wasn't here for
Thank
it
That's
God
my
for
favorite
that one.
because he would just say
Yeah.
Death Stranding because it's
He
all
would
a
attempt to derail
metaphor.
everything.
Yeah.
He's gonna be real disappointed when he comes back because I got big Death Stranding news.
Wow.
I have seen Luigi.
Oh my God!
my gosh.
God.
Luigi,
Luigi's in it.
I have seen Luigi.
I might play
Hideo
it now.
Kojima, Metal Gear Solid.
So those are some games that are Nintendo-esque, but let's talk about some games that we haven't played.
oh,
But have strong feelings about.
I'm not leaving that in.
Okay.
right, guys, welcome to games that we haven't played, but we have strong opinions about.
Yeah.
This is a game where you say a game that you haven't played, you say your strong opinion. No one in this room gets to ask any follow-up questions, but you can ask all the follow-up questions you want to down there in the comments. I'm going to kick it off. You guys ready for this?
Do it.
Ready for this?
Do it.
You're not ready
Do
for
it,
this.
Never.
I've never played. What was it called? High six.
Hylix.
Hylix. I've never played Hylix.
I showed them a trailer.
But about 5 minutes ago, Harrison showed it to me, and all my interest disappeared immediately. And I now feel strongly that it shouldn't have been made.
Okay.
You stole mine.
Well,
When I come back with Hylix 2,
Right.
you may be a little bit more.
Okay.
Because Hylix 2, just from like a first impression,
Yeah.
seems more like an actual game.
Okay, great. Harrison, then you have to go. What's the game you haven't played that you feel strongly about?
Why don't we go to Ty?
Devin took mine. I was going to do Hylix.
Oh, really?
Let's go to Ethan. I think of one.
have not played Death Stranding 2,
Okay, good on
but
you.
my strong feeling is
Okay,
Kojima doesn't need a Stranding 1 to make me cry. I don't get it. I do not. My strong opinion is Kojima just doesn't. Death Stranding 2, while I have not seen a ton for it,
yeah.
Kojima does not need a cohesive story or an audible language or like logic or pictures to make something that is just devastatingly beautiful, even when it's unfathomably stupid. That's my incredibly.
I see.
I have this.
Very articulate, strong
I think
right? You're doing
the
the
Death Stranding
Bugs
2.
Bunny communist
Right.
hands right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that like a tentacle monster is going to come out of a man's face,
Right.
and he's going to kiss you passionately in Death Stranding 2, right?
Mhm.
And then 2 seconds later, Elle Fanning's feet will be on screen for like 90% of an entire 2-hour cutscene, right? Just her bare feet.
Right.
And then the scene after that will be devastatingly beautiful and Oscar worthy. And then the next one they'll play guitars.
Quintin would argue that all of that was devastatingly beautiful.
right.
and
Right.
Oscar-worthy.
And so I like, yeah, this is my strong opinion. He doesn't need
Okay.
Stranding.
I would
Quentin,
argue
Quentin,
the
this is your
Oscars
rare
are intrinsically
opportunity.
worthless.
Yeah, well, that is also a strong. Quentin, you can actually go down there and
Yeah,
say
comment,
something,
Quentin.
Yeah, you
He
weren't
doesn't
here.
watch this. He's not going to watch this.
He's
There's
never gonna
no
know.
chance.
Is Harrison ready, or do we go to Ty?
I think I have one.
Harrison, go.
Conker's Bad for a Day.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Okay.
It was probably really good when you played it as a kid because your parents bought it for you because they thought it was a kid game. And it was your first exposure to like adult humor.
Yeah.
And that's probably why you like it. And if you were an adult that actually played it, probably didn't like it.
I had almost the exact same one with Conker's Bad Fur Day early in the podcast.
We
Oh,
did,
really?
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
almost the same thoughts on the game.
It kind of got Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
It got Rick and Morty pretty
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, it did.
We can't
Yeah.
comment on
I probably
it.
saw that episode and just stole your opinion.
That's fine.
I just forgot.
That's fine.
Like subconsciously.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I ain't a cop.
He's hoping that they're just listening.
I'm
to
the
this.
FBI.
He's thinking that that someone will just hear him and
Yeah.
think he is you.
That
That's
makes
what
sense.
it is.
That
yeah.
makes sense.
'Cause
We
we-
It'll
all
be your
sound
mother.
the same.
Go take us home, Ty.
What was
the
that
game?
horse girl game?
Uma Musume.
I've never
Derby.
played Umami May, but
Right.
That's not a game.
I'm
Uma Musume.
but I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
that some poor sap out there. I'm pretty sure that it was made by someone who is sexually attracted to horses. And he
Harrison,
wants,
you made a game?
He wants the rest of us to feel the same way he does.
Yeah.
That's probably why he made the game. No, I've never played the game, but my serious, strong opinion
Okay.
is that people are just playing this game because it's weird. They see it and they go, "Man, that's weird," and they got to give it a try.
Well, yeah, that's
No comment.
You can't comment.
That's
Yeah,
not the point of this
that's-
game.
You ruined
That's
it.
the end of the podcast.
That's the end of the
It's the end
podcast.
of the podcast. It's over.
I'm glad we ended on that note.
Yes.
Sexually
not.
attracted to horses.
Well, I gave it a follow up.
Yeah, so that was games we haven't played. Go down and tell us some games you haven't played.
Tell us some games you haven't played. Hey, are you sexually attracted to horses?
Don't
tell us.
If so,
Don't
get
tell
help.
us. Yeah, don't tell
No,
us.
don't tell us.
Don't
Get
tell-
help,
get
though.
help.
It's not good for monetization
though.
if everyone is talking about being attracted to horses in the
Yeah.
comments.
It's
Right,
not
right.
Not
good.
good for the
It's also
algorithm.
not good for the horses.
That too.
Guys, if somehow you're
Yeah.
still here, thank you for ignoring most of what we
Put a little
say.
horse emoji in the comments.
don't put a horse emoji.
Do it.
No, I want a gorilla emoji down there. Donkey Kong,
Oh,
baby.
it is.
Donkey
The king is
Kong.
back.
The king is back.
Put a gorilla
Such
emoji.
a good game.
You're sexually attracted to gorillas.
I'm cutting all of this out. Guys, thank you for being here. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.